Well, hello guys, it is Thursday, which can only mean one thing. It is that time once again for another edition of Odds and Ends, where I read you some really weird news stories from all over the world, and hey, they don't call it Odds and Ends for a reason, so I'm actually on time for once. Just wanted to point that out, so anyways, without further ado, let's begin. Our first story comes out of Austria, where apparently obesity isn't just dangerous in life, it's also a hazard in death. Investigators now believe a mid-April blaze at a crematorium in the southeastern Austrian town of Graz was torched off when large amounts of burning fat from a 440-pound woman's body blocked an air vent, causing the facility's filter system to overheat. According to London's Daily Mail, firefighters were able to contain the conflagration by shooting water through the crematorium's vents. The damage, however, was extensive and shut the business down for several days. Firemen at the scene say the building's interior was covered in layers of black, greasy soot. Officials in Austria are now considering a ban on extra-large corpses after similar problems throughout Austria and Switzerland. According to the newspaper, Switzerland has built a special crematorium able to deal with the extra heat caused by larger bodies. Okay, if this happened once before, why try it again if you know it's not going to work and the place might catch on fire? Especially when the woman is 440 pounds. Whew. But anyways, so I'm sure they're going to just transfer it over to Switzerland and they'll burn it and just be like, okay, here's your corpse. Cremated and whatnot. Anyways, moving on. Our next story comes out of Brazil, where the O Povo newspaper in Fortaleza reports that a dead toddler came back to life at his own funeral, asked for a glass of water, and then expired once again. On Friday, June 1st, 2-year-old Kelvin Santos stopped breathing and was declared officially dead from pneumonia at Alberto Santos Hospital in the northern Brazilian town of Belém. His body was handed over to his parents, who held an open casket wake throughout the night. On Saturday morning, an hour before he was scheduled to be buried, witnesses report the boy sat up in his coffin and asked his father, quote, "Daddy, can I have some water?" According to the father, Antonio Santos, quote, "Everybody started to scream. We couldn't believe our eyes. Then we thought a miracle had taken place and our boy had come back to life." Unfortunately, according to Mr. Santos, his son's reanimation was short-lived. Before the boy could be given a glass of water, he, quote, "just laid back down the way he was. We couldn't wake him. He was dead again." Mr. Santos said. The boy was rushed back to the hospital where he was declared dead for a second time. The burial was delayed for a short period but eventually took place at 5 p.m. on Saturday. Local police have launched an investigation. Wow, talk about a near-death experience. Somebody's dead, comes back to life for a short period, and then goes back to rest for eternity. I have one question. How was he able to come back to life for a short period of time, is my question. And I'm pretty sure that's probably the reason why the police are launching an investigation. And my question is, why launch an investigation when something like this rarely to never happens? But I guess there's a point that can be explained, which is why they're doing it. But hope they find something, or just, who knows. But anyways, moving on. Our next story is out of Connecticut, where the Northwich Bulletin reports that a man accused of robbing a woman at knife point at the Mohegan Sun Casino will be pleading not guilty by reason of sleepwalking. Winston A. Riley, 27, of Bridgeport, was arrested 2 hours after he allegedly pulled a knife on a casino patron in a parking lot garage elevator. The incident took place at 10:39 a.m. on Sunday, March 18th. According to the 81-year-old female victim, Riley flashed the knife and tried to grab her purse. When she resisted, he allegedly cut the strap on her purse, but fled without the bag as soon as the elevator doors opened. Casino surveillance cameras tracked his escape. Despite confessing to the crime after his arrest, Riley now says he actually woke up in the elevator and simply ran away in confusion and fright. Defense attorney Nicholas D'Amato says he has spoken to Riley's family, who confirmed he has been a sleepwalker since childhood. Quote, "It is the first time we've encountered this," D'Amato told the newspaper. Quote, "This is a legitimate medical condition." Despite confidence in his client's innocence, the attorney did admit, quote, "This is not going to be an easy defense to present." Based on his clean criminal record, a judge lowered Riley's bail from $100,000 to $85,000. He is scheduled to reappear in court on July 17th. Sleepwalking happens to some of us. Had it happen once before in my family, but it wasn't me. So I can see where he's coming from, where he says, "I was sleepwalking and did not mean to rob the woman." But based on the law and how things go in the state of Connecticut, yeah, there's going to be some form of punishment to pay for your crimes, even if you're sleepwalking. But that's just how it goes. And finally, moving on, our last story is out of South Carolina, where a suspected residential burglar saved police the trouble of catching and arresting him when he fell down a flight of stairs and died. According to the Spartanburg County Sheriff's Office, a home in South Blackstock Road in Greensville was undergoing extensive renovations when it was broken into by the unknown suspect. When a painter arrived to work on the home at about 8:30 a.m. on Thursday, June 7th, he spotted broken glass and other signs of a break-in. The worker backed out of the home and called the owner, who phoned 911. Deputies arrived at the house at about 8:45 a.m. and soon located a man's body at the foot of the basement stairs. There was no evidence anyone else had been in the house. Lieutenant Tony Ivy of the Spartanburg County Sheriff's Office told WYFF4 News that vacant homes are frequently targets of burglars looking to steal appliances, fixtures, or copper wire. Copper was found in the alleged burglar's back pocket. The coroner will perform an autopsy to confirm the cause of death, but officers believe he was killed when he fell down the stairs in the dark. Quote, "It's an unfortunate accident that happened during the commission of a crime." Okay, here's my question. Why do you decide to rob a house, well, I mean besides for appliances, fixtures, or copper wire, in the middle of the night when you can't see jack squat, and I'm pretty sure the electricity wasn't working, or you just didn't decide to flip on the switch to see where you were going, and you fell down a flight of stairs and you killed yourself during the process? I mean, we've all fell down a flight of stairs, but it can be fatal. So I didn't understand how somebody didn't see the stairs, or I don't know if he actually knew the house and knew there was a flight of stairs, but then again, it happened, and that was his fault. But anyways, guys, that is it for this edition of Odds and Ends, and I really hope you guys enjoyed listening to those stories as much as I like reading them to you. And we will see you guys next week for another edition, and until next time, see you guys later.